There's nothing like standing on a tee box and a bunch of people watching you.
Let's give a very warm welcome to a special guest.
People always ask me that, like, do I get more nervous for this or basketball? And it's this, and it's not even remotely close. Anytime you get to be out here and see these women do what they do really well, it's really inspiring. Always cool when you see the amount of people that come out and want to support not only myself, but just women's sports in general. This isn't really my main sport, obviously. People still love the opportunity to be out here and support you, and you know, they get to know all these other golfers as well, and when they continue to follow them, they come and stay for the weekend and they support these women, and I think that's just a really cool and special thing.
How would you describe your emotions about all the attention that you've gotten?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point I'm pretty used to it, and I always tell people, like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, I'm happy to do media before every single game, especially when we're on the road, and there's a lot of people that maybe this is their first time getting to see us play, or all of you maybe the first time. Obviously, it's my first time in San Francisco, so you know, I try to look at it in the best possible manner that I can, and it's, you know, it's still fun for me, and you know, there's a lot of people that would want to be in my shoes and have those types of opportunities, and I think it's always good to remind yourself, like, there's always eyes on you, and I think my mom has always reminded me that ever since I was a young kid too. Like, you know, even when you're a high school basketball player, there's young girls looking up to you and wanting to be like you, and you got to try to set the best example you can 100% of the time, and you know, no one's going to be perfect by any means, but I think just reminding myself of that, you know, how grateful I am to be in this position, and you know, it is my responsibility to try to help grow this game and do it to the best of my ability. And you know, there's certainly days that are harder than others, but you know, at the end of the day, I just remind myself I'm very lucky and fortunate. This place is incredible, and I think you've heard so many people talk about it over the course of the last few weeks, whether it's the Colts, whether it's Pacers, whether it's been our players. You know, it's just incredible. It's, in a way, it almost feels like a college, like a university, like all the teams are supporting each other, and like you don't get that in professional sports really, but like you have that here, and I think that just speaks, like, I always say, like, obviously I'm from Iowa, like Indianapolis, I understand it's a big city, but it doesn't really feel that way to me. Like, it's a very close-knit group, like everybody supports one another, but then you have the professional sports teams, and that's what everybody's most passionate about here, and that's what I love about it. You know, people really show up. This is a lot of these fans, like these have been their teams since they've been 5 years old. This is all they've known. These are the only teams they've cheered for, and you know, to have this type of success across the board. Obviously, the Colts have had an amazing start to their season, and the Pacers run last year, and then everything we've been able to persevere and, you know, reach the WNBA semifinals. Like, it's a really special time in this city, and you know, I can't imagine myself in a better place, and just really fortunate to have, you know, made different friendships with different athletes across the city, and just have the support from not only the city but the state as a whole.
Hey, Caitlin, good to see you. Obviously, there's been a lot kind of going on this week.
What?
I may have heard some things. Wanted to see, after Nafisa's comments and what she alleged that Kathy Engelbert had said specifically about you, what your thoughts were on that, and have a follow-up.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have great respect for Fee, and I think she made a lot of very valid points, and you know, I think what people need to understand, you know, we need great leadership in this time across all levels. This is straight up the most important moment in this league's history. Well, this league's been around for 25 plus years, and this is a moment we have to capitalize on. So that's honestly what I would say. I think there's, you know, Fee said it all with what she said, and you know, I think the points she made were very valid.
Had you heard that story from her before she said it publicly? And then have you spoken with Kathy Engelbert or heard from her at all since then?
No.
From the moment Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA, the spotlight has followed her everywhere. The cheers, the criticism, the sold-out arenas, and yes, the physical play that many fans say has gone way too far. For months, social media has been on fire with one question. Is the WNBA targeting Caitlin Clark? every hard foul, every hip check, every collision, every moment she hits the floor. Fan after fan, analyst after analyst, even former players began speaking out, claiming the league was letting players send a message to Clark without consequences. Meanwhile, others insisted it was all exaggerated, just rookie treatment, just physical basketball, just the welcome to the league moment. But through all of it, Clark stayed silent, until now. Caitlin Clark has finally addressed the controversy, and what she said has stunned the entire basketball world. In a calm but powerful tone, she acknowledged the elephant in the room. She said she's aware of the talk, the accusations, the claims that she's being targeted. She didn't deny the physicality. She didn't pretend it never happened. Instead, she said something no one expected. There are things worth talking about. There are things that deserve attention. No excuses, no sugarcoating, no hiding behind PR lines. Clark admitted openly that there are issues in the league that fans and players have every right to discuss. That the conversations around fairness, officiating, and treatment aren't coming out of nowhere. But then, she flipped the narrative. She reminded everyone that this is the most physical league in the world, and that she came into the WNBA knowing exactly what she signed up for. She didn't blame players. She didn't call out the league. What she did was far more powerful. She called for unity, for honesty, for growth. Clark said the league is entering the most important moment in its history, a moment where players' voices matter more than ever, a moment where the WNBA has a chance to evolve, not just for her, but for every woman who steps onto the court now and in the future. This wasn't just Caitlin Clark responding to a rumor. This was Caitlin Clark standing up and saying, let's address the real issues. Let's make the league better. And let's stop pretending the problems don't exist. The message was calm, but the impact? Absolutely seismic. Because when the most watched rookie in league history finally speaks, the entire sports world listens. And with this statement, one thing is finally clear. Caitlin Clark isn't running from the conversation. She's leading it.